Hello, and welcome to The Naked Englishman. This is normally the audio diary of my life, but today we have a video as well. And for those listening, then the video is available on YouTube, and the link will be in the show notes. With me on The Naked Englishman today is my son Stanley.
Hello.
Hello, Stanley. And we are sitting up in Shropshire at Harriet's wonderful place in Shrewsbury, the county town of Shropshire. And on the floor, having a snooze, you can't see her, unfortunately, is the lovely Lola. And she is a long-haired, short miniature Dachshund. She's a little dog. Just so you know. Anyway, part of what we're doing is Stanley very kindly on my birthday has bought me this effectively a GoPro camera, and it has all sorts of added features than the early ones has. Tell us some of those features.
What are the features? You can connect it up with your phone through Wi-Fi. So
we can see ourselves now with this little preview, so you can probably see yourselves. We can't really see
infinite hall of mirrors.
A microphone. Oh no, that's not the camera.
That's not the camera.
Yeah, so there's a microphone just below the camera. We've set it up. So we can monitor ourselves by looking here. And that's Harriet's just walked in the background. So the camera sends a little Wi-Fi signal to my phone, and my phone then gives us a preview of what we're watching. And so it's great so that we can set the camera up.
Yeah, we can put it anywhere we want, and well, within reason. And
the squeak you can hear is Harriet in the other room, and she's scarpering because she doesn't want to be on video. So, The Naked Englishman is an audio diary of basically my life and the people who come into it. Stanley is my son. Tell us something about yourself. People know all about me, so tell us about yourself.
Well, what is there to say? I'm not very interesting.
You are. You do an unusual job.
I do an unusual job. I manage a silent disco company. So
what is silent disco?
Silent disco?
Yeah.
So instead of going into a room where there's music playing and there being giant speakers,
you just have silence.
You just have silence. Everyone
does
shh. It's silent. Everyone wears headphones instead, and then you have multiple channels you can select. So you might have different DJs or.
So they're not listening to their own music. They're not just coming in and going, "Hey, I'm going to this disco and I'm just going to be antisocial."
No. It's actually quite. It's almost more interactive because you and I might be wearing headphones, listening to two different people on stage, and a really good song that you like comes on. And you're like, "Oh, Stan, change the channel," and I'm like, "Oh yes, that's a great song. Let's dance."
So you've got the situation where you have multiple feeds of different DJs, potentially either live or pre-recorded. And people, so in other words, if people like 80s music, or they like rock music, or they like garage music, or whatever it is, whatever's on offer, they can tune.
You can have the multiple genres, and you just press a button, and it
press a button on the headphones. And of course, the beauty is because it's silent externally.
Yeah, you can get past all the noise regulations, or your neighbours can let you party till 3 or 4 in the morning.
And how long have you been doing this job?
I've been doing it full time for 2 years, but prior to that, when I was at uni, I did the summers and I went to all the festivals and helped handing out headphones and things.
And really, you've become quite an important cog in the business because you sort of, from joining up just doing a few festivals, you're now, what's your job title?
General manager.
General manager,
which is vague enough. Because I do everything.
Everything.
Bits of everything.
So you're almost indispensable. Without you, the place would fall apart.
I'd like to think that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that'd survive. I'd have to go back to the old ways.
Yeah. So, but you thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. It's a lot of office work, but then, because I do a lot of programming and web dev as well, and I run our sales websites, and I've built a lot of the systems that we use for hires and events.
Right.
But then, you go to the events, you meet clients, you put on the events, and they're not all just parties. We do a lot of corporate stuff as well, conferences and things.
So it's a real mixed bag. You're not just stuck behind a computer or stuck in the office or down in the warehouse. Oh, hello, Lola. Come and say hello.
Yeah, you can see Lola.
There we are.
On the podcast.
This is Lola, and she's
straight looking. Hello.
this is Harriet's most delightful dog, and apologies if you are only listening because you can't hear her. Would you like to give us a yap? Harriet's in the background cooking, so all these erroneous sounds is her. But would you like to say something to the cameras?
No.
Fair enough. Well, you can go and have a little run round. So what's weird is you went to university.
Yes.
Well, you went for 3 years, but you did a year before that on a drawing course.
Yeah, so I finished my GCSEs, kind of high school. I knew I wanted to do video games.
Video games.
So I went to college and studied video games.
Right.
Passed because I was doing it kind of in my own time anyway. Doing
you were very passionate about it.
And I was passionate about making levels and the 3D Pixar side of it. So it's not just playing games; it's very challenging.
And the design. You were interested in the design.
The design, making people have fun in interesting ways. Hello, Lola.
And then you went to university. Then you did an advanced.
So I did the video game course, and because I wanted to go into the design / art side, and I'm not an artist, I did a drawing course for a foundation in art where you did drawing amongst other things. And then I went to uni, and they said, "Oh, you can't draw, so you have to do an art foundation as part of the uni course." So I did 2 art foundations back to back, and then the first 2 years of the actual uni course, we had live drawing lessons every week, and I still can't draw. And that isn't, me being humble or one of those artist people who say they can't do something. I genuinely can't even draw a square properly.
Right, but there are some that you just think, Christ, you're so talented. How do you manage to do that? They just their pencil glides across the paper, and something astounding happens. But that aside, you did the course, and it's not that you've just given up on video games and decided to do something else. I remember you got to a point where you said, I'm very interested in how business works, that whole process, and working on projects and seeing something through and the different stages of it.
I think, I just really like projects, which is very vague again, but I like trying to figure out a solution, putting that solution into practice, and then having the outcome and trying to work through that. And video games is just a very interesting project. You're trying to make someone playing the game enjoy it, but without feeling like they're having their hand held, feel like they're having freedom, but games aren't good enough yet to let people do anything, so you have to kind of make them go down this corridor and make it fun and their decision to go down there, so it doesn't feel like they're forced and all these things.
So in a way, the skills that you learnt there at university and on running a project, and then the real life skills of actually running a business and getting to events and things, all those skills, you could go into lots of different completely unrelated businesses, because I imagine some of those key things are very much the same.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's again, if you imagine making a level in the game, you might go, okay, in order to get through this wall, they have to collect this gun because it's explosive. That's quite, and it's the same with an event. You're like, I need to make sure I've got a van on these dates, otherwise we can't get there, and we have to
pick up logistics.
Pick up all this gear from here and get it there as well. And sometimes we have events where the warehouse is just stripped bare; it's absolutely empty because we've got 3 or 4 festivals going on at once. We've had an incredibly busy year this year, but it's good. It's good fun and it's different.
So what do you think your vague plans are long term?
For the foreseeable future, I think I'm going to be at the Silent Disco company, because we're also, it's not just Silent Disco, we've launched
it's expanding, isn't it?
It's
You're
expanding,
doing different
exactly,
things.
yeah. So we had a number of silent cinemas buy some of our equipment.
So again, just silent cinema is not just watching silent films. You've got that concept of wearing headphones, or
pop-up cinemas. But sometimes it's hard to get sound into a field, or again, there's noise regulations if you're not doing it in, obviously, Odeon.
Yes.
Or big cinema companies have noise licenses.
Yes.
Or they're insulated or what have you, but a pop-up cinema won't.
So I mean, and a pop-up cinema means that you can pop up anywhere within reason.
Yes.
And show your film, and if it's mostly outdoors, Again, you relying on being evening showings, sort of midday is probably not the best time if it's outside. And then you've got the problem, ordinarily you'd have the problem of getting the sound so that people can hear in the comfort of however they're viewing it, the comfort of a deck chair or whatever it is. Because I suppose in America, the drive-ins, they tune into the radio frequency.
Well, actually, we did a drive-in cinema recently, as in we provided headphones for a established drive-in cinema, and they have so many issues. In England, firstly, to get the licensing for the radio frequencies is so long and laborious.
Right.
Modern cars, half of them only do digital now.
Right. So they couldn't tune
can't
in
even
an
listen.
FM frequency.
And some of them, modern cars, when you've got it even on with the keys on, all the lights and everything come on, even the headlights, and so you're blinding the person in front. Even things like that.
So that's So the great thing about the silent cinema or the pop-up cinema is that you're providing the audio through headphones.
Yes.
And what I think makes this really good is the fact that the audio quality will be not only great, but you can concentrate on it because your ears are isolated from everything else, but also the stereophonic or surround sound effects of something, a car whizzing past, or the bass can be greatly enhanced because you haven't got other interference. And a little known fact that other video people forget, they always think that sound is very secondary, that video quality is the thing, but actually it's the reverse. If you have crappy video or diffused out focus or anything, but your sound is really good and your attention to sound is recorded well, the video will look so much better. And so in your pop-up cinema, even if you're projecting and it's still a little bit light and the screen isn't brilliantly bright, as long as you can still see it, and you've got this quality sound coming in here, it will just look, it will be a very enhanced thing that you experience.
You should definitely come to one.
I would, definitely. So your business, you were saying about is expanding because you're doing lots of different.
So a silent cinema bought some because of the reasons you just said, or we just said, and we thought, why cut out the middleman? We'll put on some events ourselves and see what that's like. And so we've now got another company that does outdoor cinema. And we'll go and run those events as well, and they're doing
so
quite
again,
well.
It's another challenge, another project, and another thing to keep you. I mean, from you as a personal level, it's a new project and a new challenge to try and see where it goes.
It's so different, not just in the cinema versus silent disco, but putting on an event is very different to going to
an established event.
Exactly. So normally we're so used to kind of rolling up half an hour before we're supposed to be live and plugging in all our stuff, and just being.
So now you're promoting something.
Yeah, now we have to get those people in the door, and that's a completely different ball game. And trying to market it with, and trying to make it be self-sustainable. We're not just going to chuck money from the headphone business.
No, you want to know it works, because to promote something is very tricky.
Yes,
and of course when it's new. If you're promoting something that everybody understands, it's a lot easier because people kind of go, oh, it's a circus in town. Do I like circuses? Don't I? Yes or no? But, I suppose you don't want anyone to misunderstand what a silent cinema is, because they may go, oh, black and white films that with no sound, not for me.
I mean, we mostly call it actually a pop-up cinema, because you get, especially in London and such pop-up shops and things like that, so people can kind of go, oh, it's a pop-up cinema.
So then they know exactly,
and then headphones is just a means to an end. It's just a means of getting the audio.
Do the people know that when they turn up they've got headphones, or they just kind of, oh, okay? Because I imagine once they experience it, it's great.
Yeah, I think
that initial, I
guess it's something that they don't think about
until it happens.
Yeah, they're just so used to going to a cinema and there being audio.
And that's nice though for people if you're not expecting something and then your expectations are enhanced.
Under promise, over deliver.
Because then you go, wow, that was really good, because I could, I was worried we couldn't hear it because the trains and the aeroplanes, and whereas
Yeah, we were for our latest one. We were right next to quite a busy road, and it was absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. And also, what's good for us is the one we're doing at the moment is in a park, and if you had a live PA system, just speakers, anyone could walk up and just watch.
Right.
And then we'd essentially be doing it for free.
Yes.
Whereas with headphones,
unless you've got the sound.
Yeah, you're buying.
And you're on specific FM frequencies that they wouldn't be able to tune in. You know, the average person is not likely to be able to tune in.
It's off of the actual
spectrum of the car.
The FM spectrum, but it's the same. It's not far off enough to not be classed differently. It just No. If they have gear, they can get gear that would just listen into it, but no one has it. It's not a popular thing.
No one, and you're not advertising the frequency 97.8 FM.
Exactly. Half people think it's Wi-Fi or Bluetooth because that's what people know about these days.
That's true. FM is becoming an older technology that can be used for different fields.
But that's actually a selling point for us because people always ask, "Oh, is it Wi-Fi? Is it Bluetooth?" And we just say, "No, it's FM or what have you." But there's no pairing. There's no
So in a way, it's a kind of a safe bet.
It's plug and play.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep this short because we are recording it on video, and
we don't know how long the SD card lasts.
We don't know if it's working either. And I've done many a podcast where I've said, I don't know if this is working, and often it isn't.
And it's the third time.
Yeah,
it's the actual live one.
So thank you, Stanley.
That's all right.
It's been great, and we'll get you back on again, and we'll do some just on the audio, and we can probe deeper into your...
It feels more like a performance with a camera.
It is. I know. That's an interesting conundrum because I quite like the audio only because you don't have to think about the visual aspect, and you don't have to feel like I've got to be presentable and concentrate on looking in the camera and all those sort of things. Although we're in such a visual world these days, and this next generation coming up are just thinking visuals all the time. But I guess people are very much more accepting simple setups like this to watch, just two people on a chair chatting, and I guess some people may download the video but barely watch the actual visuals, just hear the thing. There's
a podcast I listened to, and they normally just do audio, and they did one video podcast because they were in a museum, and they just had the video set up, and it was all basically just concentrating on their hands and then looking at all these objects and things. They weren't even the focus.
Right.
Also, you can't kind of walk around and walk and think and things.
No.
Normally, in the Naked Englishman, you're in the kitchen doing
making
a cup of
things.
coffee, and there's lots of noises, and here it's a little bit more.
It is a lot more constricting, and I think the great thing about the Naked Englishman or any audio sort of thing where you're not presenting it as a show, where it is a slice of life, is that it's a lot more real.
But then you could just grab this and plonk it somewhere and move around with it if we wanted to.
Yeah, that's very true.
Anyway,
thank you very much. I hope everything's all recorded, but join me again on nakedenglishman.co.uk, and you can download all the previous podcasts, well, not all of them because I only keep a few on there, because we're up to something like 18. We're up to nearly 19.
Do you have them all backed up though?
Yeah, they're all backed up somewhere. On CDs, DVDs, hard drives. They're all over the bloody shop. Who wants to listen to one of these more than once? Let's be fair. So from Lola and Stanley and me, thank you and goodbye.
Bye.